Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another booty workout for y'all. We're going to start off by doing some dynamic stretching, because you have to ensure you're doing some dynamic stretching, especially before you do legs. Like, your legs there's huge muscle groups in your legs. They need to be stretched out to just ensure that you're dynamically warming up before you put some heavy load on your legs. Here I'm doing some kicks back and forth. I don't really know what they're called, to be honest, but they're, kicks back and forth. And then we're opening the gate. So here we're opening our hips. You want to open those hips to ensure that your hips aren't going to break off, because my hips, I tell you, my hips are finished. Now we move into an exercise that is an opener for the hips, but it's a dual exercise because it's also stretching out your hamstrings. When you are working out your glutes, there's going to be a heavy emphasis also put on your hamstrings. So ensure that you're doing exercises that are not just targeting your hips, your legs, but also your hamstrings. Then again, we move into another exercise, which is going to open your hips. It's going to give it an extra stretch. Make sure that you're leaning back when you're doing this stretch, and you'll really be able to feel it in your hips. You'll really be able to feel your hips stretching, because they get really tight. And when you're doing exercises that I'm going to show you later on in this video, you're going to need it. So make sure you're stretching. This workout really is, if you really want to grow your glutes, right? Stay tuned, because I'm about to show you how I got my glutes from flat to perky. I used to look like this, and now I look like this. So yeah. First exercise, of course, it's going to be hip thrusts, but first of all, we've got to wake up our glutes. So first we're going to be doing hip thrusts, just body weight hip thrusts, to give us some warmth in them glutes. So I do 20 of these. I do one set of 20. Normally I will be using a band around my knees, but for this session I actually forgot it, so I'd be normally wearing a band and doing 20 reps of body weight hip thrusts. Then we dip into that single leg hip thrust. This is an isolated movement. Again, that's going to get your glutes fired up. So we do 10 on each side, and on the last rep we have a 1 to 2 second hold at the top. You're gonna feel the burn, baby. now we are going into the hip thrust. So we are doing 10 reps. Here I've started off in my first set with 70 kg. What we're doing 10 reps, but we're holding for 3 at the top. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the reason why we're holding for 3 at the top is because we want our muscles we need it time under tension, and that's what's going to help us to grow that booty and make it perky. So ensure that you're squeezing at the top. So now I'm racking her up. So we're going up in weight. So I'm putting an extra 30 on. So I'm putting an extra 15 on each side. So that brings us to 100 kg in total. This exercise I actually started off with 2 10s on each side. So I started off with 40 kg when I first began doing hip thrust. Now we're pushing weight, and that's the only reason why I've been able to see gains, is because I've progressively overloaded my hip thrust. So here we go. The next set is going to be 100 kg hip thrust, 10 reps with a 3-second hold at the top for each rep. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It sounds like a little song. And sometimes I feel like when I'm doing hip thrust, I count in my head. It's like I'm playing a little song. I'm like, yes, 1, 2, 3, hit it. 1, 2, 3. So we're back overloading the already overloaded stack. So we're at 120 kg for hip thrust of 10 reps and a 3-second hold at the top. Final set, I have added 2.5 to each side, so we're at 125 kg hip thrust with a 3-second hold at the top. I wouldn't necessarily say this is my max, but this was good enough. I probably could go up maybe another 15, but for this day I'd left it where it was at. I felt like my booty was on fire, as you can see. So everybody's worst nightmare, Bulgarian split squats. It's definitely my worst nightmare because I struggle with balance with this, but I do 4 sets of 10 here on Bulgarian split squats, making sure you're doing each leg. What I would normally suggest doing with Bulgarian split squats is, if you're struggling to find your stance, sit on the edge of your bench or whatever you're using, put your foot out, as far as you can, and then stand up, basically. I hope that makes sense. And that's where your front foot positioning should be, and that will give you sort of the best stance in order to target your glutes. Let me tell you something. This exercise here is guaranteed to give you the biggest booty lift ever if you're consistent with it. I promise you, this is hyper extensions. And I start off doing body weight because I want to ensure that I am engaging my hamstrings, I'm engaging my glutes before I actually start to lift heavy on this exercise. I think it's needed. So I do reps here, body weight until failure, and then I move into my sets. So I do 3 sets of this, and I do 12 reps. Body weight I do until failure, and starting off at my first set, I will be using a weight of 25 kg, and I'll be going 3 sets of 12 reps. Ensure that this exercise is very slow and controlled, and you're tucking in you're trying to round your spine as you're coming up. You're keeping your spine rounded so that you're able to put tension onto your glutes and onto your hamstrings, but ensure that it's very slow and controlled all the way up and all the way down. Next, we have single leg RDLs. And what I like to do with this exercise is, if you are struggling for stability or you can't feel the stretch in the back of your hamstrings into your glutes, make sure that you're using the wall as your stabilizer, and I can guarantee you'll be able to feel that stretch a little bit more. That's what I'm doing here. Also, it helps with balance, but it does really help feel that stretch through your hamstrings and your glutes for you to get the best out of the exercise. I do 3 sets of 8 on this exercise. So now we move into glute bridges, and normally I would have a band around my knees as well, but on this occasion I forgot my band, unfortunately. But if you have a band, I would definitely recommend using it. But I use a 20 dumbbell or 20 kettlebell, here, and I do 3 sets of 20 reps. And this is like a finisher. You know, this is a great finisher for the exercises that I've shown you previously. You're definitely going to be feeling your booty is going to be on fire by this point, especially when you've hit the last of the 3 sets and you've got to 20 reps. You're going to be like, hey, Jesus, take the wheel. And if that wasn't bad enough, we have plank. We have a plank for 3 sets, and we're holding for 60 seconds each set. If you can't do 60 seconds, start at 30 seconds and build yourself up from there. But to finish off, I always finish off with an ab exercise, whether that's a different variation of planks, whether that's knee raises, whether that's leg raises. I always end off with a abs exercise. We've got to keep our core strong, because having your core strong will help with every single exercise, because your core is in the middle of your body, and that does help assist with whatever you're doing, whether you're doing legs, arms, we need our core. And finally, I finish off with a slow inclined walk for about 10 minutes. So we do an incline of about 7 or 8 at a speed of about 4 or 5. It's nice to finish off if you're looking to sort of burn a little bit of fat. It's definitely great to add in some low intensity cardio. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.